She is also the author of Moderate Drinking. It's an updated copy, will be in your stores in December. Now, Dr. Kent Robertshaw is the Associate Director of the Smithers Institute in New York, and he says that in his experience, only 1 out of 20 heavy drinkers can really learn to moderate. True? Moderation's not for everybody. I think even Audrey's saying that.
Absolutely.
Not for everybody.
Her book suggests that she defines it into problem drinking and chronic drinking, and the danger is that many people early in the progression of their alcoholism look cross-sectionally like moderate drinkers or heavy drinkers.
And you say the danger is, too, that that's exactly what people want to hear, correct?
That's correct, that they can moderate. And again, my experience is that every alcoholic tries to moderate on their own. It's part of the CAGE questionnaire that we'll probably get to later. They try to cut down and they can't. And most longitudinal studies suggest 1 out of 20. That's 19 bullets in a chamber with 20 empties, and you're rolling a revolver.
So what's the difference between a problem drinker and an alcoholic?
Well, you can't tell in the beginning. There's nobody that can tell the difference between a problem and a chronic drinker when it's first starting to happen. The problem is that when people end up in AA, the only way they can be successful is to realize that they cannot control their drinking. And the way they discover that they cannot control their drinking is they try to moderate, and they repeatedly fail. And they finally come to the conclusion that they can't moderate, and so they finally accept that they need to go into a total abstinence program. And this process of discovering whether you can control drinking or not, unfortunately, is an experimental process. And I heard a lot of people earlier saying that they didn't know how much was too much. And that's one thing that this book addresses, is we give guidelines on what is too much.
What is too much? It doesn't depend on you, your body type, how large you are, how tall you are, how, yeah.
It actually does. It depends on a lot of things, your sex, your weight, how fast you're drinking, if you're eating when you're drinking.
What you're drinking.
What you're drinking, how concentrated
Jack Daniels versus Shirley Temple, you know?
There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
And based on 20 years of research with problem drinkers, we have a researcher out of Canada, Dr. Martha Sanchez-Craig, who came up with limits. For example, for women, no more ever than 9 drinks a week, no more than 3 drinks on any occasion. And these are limits, not targets, and have at least 3 or 4 abstinence days in a week.
Okay.